Welcome to Talk Birdie To Me. This is Australia's most popular golf podcast with former world number 16 Nick O'Hearn, the only player to beat Tiger Woods twice in match play, and tour pro Mark Allen, who played professional golf around the world for 15 years, including a British Open. We're coming from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. Titleist is the #1 ball in golf, and FootJoy is the #1 shoe and glove in golf. And thanks to our great partners, Watch My Numbers, the most powerful database golf app in the world. Download from the App Store or Google Play. Ping, as with Nick O'Hearn, will help you play your best. See your local golf shop or professional for a Ping Club fitting. The Golf Clearance Outlet beat everyone's prices. Visit golfclearanceoutlet.com.au for your nearest store. And Better, the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. Now that's better. Now, from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, it's time for Talk Birdie To Me. Here's Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen.
G'day everybody, US Open week at Oakmont. Cannot be more exciting except for one thing, Nick. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I'm a fair weather golfer, as you know.
I know.
And I have discovered something so magnificent, so wonderful to see. There is a new emoji for fair weather golfers.
Well, I know you're a fair weather golfer because on the weekend, the weather wasn't great.
That's right.
Our good buddy, Lee Trevino, Ray Mack, sent me a picture of what he shot. He played nicely.
Yes.
And then he sent me a picture of your name, no score return.
That's right.
No return.
I walked off after 7 holes. But if I had this emoji, put it up, Dan. Look at that. The no 18 emoji. If I'd had that, I wouldn't have even got to the golf course because I would have seen the weather, I would have seen and I would have just sent that to my playing partners. No 18. Now, if you're listening in the car and you're not on YouTube, picture the Ghostbusters picture, with the line through the
red
ghost,
circle,
except there's a 18 behind it. Okay. No 18.
Are you saying that's a golf emoji?
I'm absolutely. What other emoji could that possibly be?
So you're saying I ain't afraid of no 18?
Hang on, let me just Google it.
Yeah, go on, Google away.
Hang on,
Google your life away.
Oh,
Somebody loves golf who's in the techno department.
Look at this.
What
does it say?
Okay.
What's this?
The no one under 18 emoji is a red circle, yada, 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 blah, 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 signaling an age restriction commonly used to indicate content prohibited for individuals under 18, like adult websites, age-restricted events,
adult websites,
mature movies.
And now for fair weather golfers. So we need to contact them.
Yeah.
There's quite a few uses for the no 18.
I'm not saying it doesn't work well. The point I'm making it's not a golf emoji, is what I'm saying.
But by the way, I don't think you would have played on this day because we've got Oakmont behind us and there's like a bit of snow, a bit of frost, but it was by
what a beautiful picture.
This picture by our good friend Gary Lisbon.
Oh, Gazza did that one. No surprise.
Gary took that one. Amazing picture. So, and what a golf course.
Well, look, I love US Open week. I think we mentioned this a little bit earlier. 1 week where a golf course is set up to where it is completely brutal, completely unreasonable.
Love it.
So ridiculous that most normal human beings, couldn't break 80 or 90 or actually, what would a 9 marker? What would a 9 marker shoot if they teed it?
If they teed it up on Thursday at Oakmont.
Thursday, that's right. Round 1.
Round 1 at Oakmont. A 9 marker, they wouldn't break 120.
That's right. And then
120.
And then throw in people watching as well. And I reckon it'd go. It would
so hard, this golf course. It is so hard. I finished 15 over, tied for 23rd.
Yes. 10 over cut.
I was in the prime of my career and I shot 15 over.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how hard the golf course was. 5 over won the golf tournament. They used to run a competition. I probably mentioned it before. US Open the week before, could a 5 handicapper break 100? And I don't think anyone ever broke 100 in those competitions. They used to have ESPN come out and film it all. The week before, I think they did it at Torrey Pines. I think they did it at Oakmont that year.
That's
no
right.
chance. No chance.
Well, the only experience I've had at a US Open venue was Torrey Pines, the Rocco Mediate and Tiger Woods. Tiger ended up winning on the 91st hole of the week with a broken leg. This pretty much can't be done. But he did it, and he beat Rocco Mediate. But we had a trip to Augusta earlier that year. So it was 3 months beforehand. and the rough hadn't been mown. So the people on this trip all wanted to play from the back tees, right? Of course they did.
This is at Tory.
At Tory Pines
right.
in 2009.
Yeah, sure.
Alrighty. So
2000. Yeah.
I played out of my gourd, right? I hold that many putts, it wasn't funny. And I was 3 over through 15 and ended up shooting 79 on that golf course.
That's a hell of an effort to break 80.
I couldn't have putted any better. Nobody else in our group broke 100.
No.
And the greens were
and
soft.
what were their handicaps?
Oh, they were all, from single figures to 14s, a couple of 20s, right? Yep. But nobody broke 100. And we were playing Stableford.
Wow.
So nobody broke 100 in a Stableford comp. So that kind of got rid of all the, the 9s and the 10s on the hole.
Imagine if they had to actually hole out.
Basically, everybody, the worst score they could have was a double or a triple on holes, and none of them broke 100. And here's the other thing. One of the reasons I broke 80 was because the greens were soft.
Ah, yeah.
Right? They weren't rock hard.
They weren't US Open.
They weren't US Open toughness. Yeah. They were quick, but you could hit a 5-iron, land on the green, and the ball would stop reasonably quickly.
Well, one of the hardest things about this place is they are the hardest greens I've ever putted on, ever. And I've putted on a lot of different greens, but these have no rhyme or reason to them. Like they just go everywhere. Remember Aaron Baddeley putted it off the green.
Yeah,
he was leading the tournament, 2007.
With Tiger watching on.
Final group, puts it off the green, makes triple bogey, done. I think he finished maybe 15th or something like that in the end. But
it's funny.
It's that sort of a course. And Aaron Baddeley, one of the best putters in the world.
One of the greatest putters we've
just
ever
incredible.
seen in the whole world. Now,
good luck, folks.
I just had a bit of a look at the general course overview, basically. So
you asked Croc, didn't you?
I did ask. That's exactly.
Of course you did.
I asked artificial intelligence. Yes, I did. So it's very good, by the way. When you do, when you go all the way down, it lists where it got the information from.
Okay.
So it's very, very good. But the golf course was designed, you're talking about there's no rhyme or reason for these greens. The bloke who did it originally, Henry C. Founds, I think he had some brothers doing it as well.
The Founds family.
Yeah, so they all put it together. It was the first and last golf course they ever designed.
Well, there you go.
It was the first and last. So when you're talking about no rhyme and reason, that's probably one of the reasons why. I mean, it was redone by Gil Hans and Jim Wagner, and that was done in 20...
Gil Hans, recently.
2023.
Last couple
of years.
And
that was, in preparation for this tournament. They made some greens bigger and blah, blah, blah.
More pins, etc.
More pins and stuff, bigger greens. I don't know. I hate bigger greens, but at this golf course, you can probably get away with doing some stuff like this.
I will say this. So this golf course, if you're a single handicap marker at Oakmont, you can play anywhere in the world. You can play anywhere in the world, and you're a true single-figure handicapper. Because there are single-figure handicappers where you go, sure, at your club, but at Oakmont, you're probably going to be off 18.
Well, according to Grok, listen to this, stimp meter readings are expected to be this week between 14.5 and 14.9, making them the fastest in golf. Some sources reported speeds up to 15 plus during preparation. So that's just for the members. Ridiculous. Anyway, over 150 bunkers, even though it's a knock your head against a brick wall golf course, I still want to go and play it.
Oh, absolutely.
I still want to go.
You got the church pews. I think there's 13 pews here on the third hole. I've been in the pews several times. I think I was in there 3 out of the 4 days.
Yeah.
So I had my fun in there. Depending on, I'm not sure what they're going to do with the bunkers, but they can have some pretty deep furrows on the rakes there. So the bunkers could be more of a hazard. We'll see how that plays out. I'm not sure what they're going to do. The course has received quite a bit of rain the last few weeks, so we'll see how that goes. But the rough is juicy. The greens are going to be quick. Score-wise, I'm not sure. I think we may have a level par winning score again, like back in the day when level par won a lot of the US Opens. 5 over one around here. The last one was Dustin Johnson in 2016. That was 4 under.
Yeah.
But they've toughened the course up since.
Okay, just thanks to Grok, the bunkers, notable features, church pews between holes 3 and 4. That's what we've got in the background. 13 in total, stretching 180 yards. That's what the church pews. Other bunkers, like those on hole 8, have been modified or expanded, with some replaced by thick rough to increase difficulty. Doesn't say anything here about the furrows and the rake. So
Maybe
According
not
to
then.
Grok, they haven't gone to that extreme this year.
Yeah, and they do have the longest par 3 in US Open history. The
What
eighth
hole is that, the eighth hole?
I think it's 290. The year I played it, they'd measured out at 299. That's what they told
From the
us.
back. So they ever play it from the back zone?
They didn't get all the way back. I think we played it from 270 to 290 throughout the week. So they did vary it up a little, but it is slightly downhill. I just hit a little baby cut driver in there every day. Plays a bit shorter than the yardage.
Yeah.
So.
Have they got any short holes? Have they got any baby ones?
Yeah, they got a couple of. I think they got a par
17?
3 on the front. A par 3 on both nines, where it is more of a 7 or an 8 iron, something like that. So 17 is quite a strong par. Sorry, 17 is a short 4 up the hill to the left. 16 is a good strong par 3. It's just a brutal test. It's a war of attrition.
Well, on the better preview, we both said Scotty Scheffler is going to win this thing comfortably. Well, not comfortably, but it's just the golf course sets up for him better than anything else. You tell us it's a great mental test.
It is.
Of anybody, and that also goes right
lends itself to him as well.
Straight to him at the moment. So
he's incredible.
If you haven't had a listen to the Better preview, make sure you do go back and have a quick listen to it because it was a ripper.
And by the way, if you haven't jumped on our Better multi, that's worth doing too. So all you do is you go to the Better app or the Better website. If you haven't got an account, you create an account. It takes like, I don't know, a minute and a half maybe. It's really, really easy. And here is our Talk Birdie multi.
Yes.
Scheffler, top 3.
Yes.
I'm not going to say it's a lock, but gee, it's pretty close.
It's pretty good.
Ludwig to beat Rahm.
I love that one.
Yep.
Ludwig
I love
to beat
that
Rahm.
one.
Yep.
And Striker
This is the shocker.
to miss the cut.
Oh, this is a lock.
It's not a lock. I'll put $100 on him to win the thing.
And so
that's probably one of the reasons why you'll miss the cut.
That's a 50-50.
And so that Talk Birdie multi at Better is paying $16. If you can't afford to lose it, don't bet it. But if you can just afford to play
It's a $10 bet. That's all it is.
if you can muck around a bit, hey, it's worth a go.
It's a $10 bet. It's not like you're going to put $100 on it. It's $10.
The other thing about Oakmont, had one of the greatest playoffs in history. You had Nicklaus and Palmer,
Yeah.
1962. Jack won his first pro tournament here at the
that's
US
right.
Open. But back then, it was a 18-hole playoff.
That's right.
And
it's also the venue where Johnny Miller shot a 63.
63.
Still the lowest score in the major.
Lowest score in the US Open. In the major? I don't think in a major, maybe.
Maybe the US
US
Open.
Open, yeah. But it was playing a little different back then as well. I think it was a par 71, so it was 8 under par. Now it's a par 70.
Yeah.
And I saw some highlights of his round.
Dan's just got it up. I
throughout
can
the
look
week.
over there. Have a look at Johnny
By the
Miller.
way, how thin is he? I mean, he's like a whippet.
He was only 28, so he's quite a tall, young player.
But watch the leg action. I love this leg
You know what
action.
I love? I love the transition.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, the transition at the top. And this bloke, world famous for knocking sticks out of the hole. Look at that.
Look at that. How many shots he just walked up. He's leaning and it's like a foot right. I mean, that's Johnny Miller. Apparently when he was in his prime, it wasn't uncommon for him to hit 1 or 2 flags per round with his 5-iron. That's how good how accurate he was.
No, he's
Just
a freak.
incredible.
Funny stroke. I wonder if you can
It's
just
not a putting
find,
action you want to
Can you put it back on? Because I reckon you'll see him putt in a second, but just an unusual way of putting with the ball on top of his left foot.
Well, back then they used to putt a bit this way, didn't they? Where the hands were low, bent over so much, very wristy, poppy stroke, and he did sort of develop a bit of a yippy action later in his career. That's on 16, the par 3. I think they may show this putt.
Yeah, they'll show it for
and
sure.
this will give us a good look at his setup.
Julius Boris, look at that.
Look at the names. Arnold
John
Palmer,
Schlee, never heard of him, but that's who he ended up beating in the end.
Tom Weiskopf, Lee Trevino.
Palmer.
Incredible.
Here we go.
Here it is.
Look at this putting stroke. Now, folks, don't copy this anytime soon.
Yeah, for our audio listeners,
I wish we got the
wow.
other view. I wish we got the other view.
it's brilliant, isn't it?
No, great to see it.
Geez, how tall was he?
Yeah, he's 6'2". He's 28 there.
Tall man.
Yep.
Yep. One of the legends of the game.
Yep. Although he did stick at the Craig Parry once upon a time.
He did. Yep.
Which he'll never be forgiven now in this part of the world for doing that, but that's what you get, Johnny. But anyway, always great to look back and see what was going on. And by the way, in 1953, when Ben Hogan won the 3 majors and couldn't get a boat back in time to get the career Grand Slam. That's why he didn't get. That's why he couldn't get to the USPGA. Because the boat trip took too long.
It was 6 weeks or something, wasn't it? Or 3 weeks? I don't know what it was.
But he couldn't get back in time.
Back in the day.
Well, serves him right, given that he destroyed your career, Mark.
Well, he's booked it in the
that's
5 modern fundamentals. Shocking. Well, it's got a couple of good books, a couple of good chapters, but it's got a couple of ordinary chapters too.
Wow.
There you go.
Jeez, okay.
All right. Hey, we've got to talk about Foxy's win, though, in Canada.
Please.
What a great victory that was.
Well-
That's his second in, 4 weeks?
Yeah, and significant tournaments as well. Tournaments of significance.
The Canadian Open.
Canadian
That's
Open.
big.
It's a ripper, huge trophy. Some of the best names in the whole world have been engraved onto that thing. The playoff. Was, So it's the first time in my watching golf lifetime where they've changed the hole position after the second playoff hole. They could have done it after the first if they were going to do it.
I think on the Korean Tour they do it every hole on the playoff.
Do they? Well, I haven't seen it.
No, I know on the Korean Tour you don't see it, but that's what I hear is they change the whole location on the 18th because they just keep playing 18. They move it each time. Yeah. I think they might move the tees as well, which would be a great thing to do.
Well, look, they're both long hitters of the golf ball. I mean, Foxy does rip it past, who was the other guy in the playoff? Sam Burns. Rips it past him most of the time. But what happened was the final putt was holed and the wind came up. And all of a sudden, both players, Burns and Foxy, they can't reach it in two. So it was one thing to change the hole. I was screaming at the TV earlier. I said, move the tees up. For goodness sakes. Now, what else could they do? Because 4 holes, I mean, Jim Nance was apparently losing his mind.
Well, the problem is it's a par 5 as well, which means it drags out even more. Here's a suggestion. Why don't they just either make it a reachable par 4 or a long par 3 or a short par 3 and just start from there? Because especially if you can't get home in 2 on a par 5, it becomes a wedge contest. Yeah. So they may as well just drop balls there, put some tee markers and say, boys, here we go. Let's just go and keep it moving.
Absolutely. I reckon what they could do, I mean, if they're up for changing holes, which is a fabulous thing to do, then they should be up for moving tees as well. And, if it's a par 4, you can turn a long par 4, a boring long par 4, into something special just by putting the tee markers 300 yards out for these players.
Absolutely.
And this particular hole with the water in front.
It'd be a heck of a tee shot, wouldn't it?
You can
just
imagine.
Tease them.
Yeah, absolutely. You could just absolutely tease them.
You'd almost want to go second, wouldn't you? Because if your opponent hits the driver in the water, you go, well, I'm just going to hit 7-iron wedge.
I was going to ask you exactly that. I mean, let's say, Foxy goes first and, okay, I can get there. I'll pump it, hits it into the water.
Or he knocks it on.
All of a sudden, you've got an 8-iron in your hand trying to lay up. But so it just makes it so much more interesting. So
a couple of interesting putts in the playoff, though, right? With one, Sam Burns had a good chance.
Yeah.
Looked like he pushed it a little, and then Ryan Fox had a putt for the win.
I trust your eye.
Left it short.
Left it 18 inches short.
I didn't see I saw Sam Burns' putt, but I didn't see Fox's.
Didn't leave it on the lip, which is kind of almost forgivable. But when you leave it 18 inches short, I thought, wow, he's really feeling the pressure here.
How long was that putt?
That was about a 15-footer.
Okay, yeah, that's a long way short from 15
feet. A long way short.
Okay.
And then, of course, we saw this shot, Dan, if you could put it up. 4th playoff hole. The wind had dropped. Both players could reach the green in 2 all of a sudden, which made it much more exciting. It was 255 yards. Look at the shape of that when you've got a 3-wood in their hands. Ooh. Perfect little fade, and he hits it 6 feet.
Incredible, wasn't it? Burns hit the green as well, but then 3-putted.
Yeah, well, the fact that it was close, it was 6 foot. I think Burns thought, okay, he's probably going to hold that. I can't leave this one short. And where they had moved the hole to, there was this big downslope if you happen to spin a wedge, which is kind of what they were hoping for. Burns, I think the first time they played that hole, spun a wedge off the green and then hit a beautiful chip shot to get up and down, which did make it more fun, that pin placement. But also, when Burns knows he can't leave it short, he's got to try and hold it because the odds are this bloke's going to. But even saying so, the 6-footer, I'm thinking, if I'm his caddy, I'm saying, I want you to leave this 1 inch short. You've got 2 putts to win, leave it 1 inch short.
He hit it 2.5 feet past.
I know. He hit the hole a 2.5-footer.
Yeah.
It's the last thing you want.
I know. But he didn't look too phased about it. So it was a great win.
Okay. Back to put your serious face on.
Okay, sorry.
Because the investigation, a birdie affair style.
Oh, from last week, yeah.
I have made more phone calls.
The top100golfcourses.com.
Well.
What have you found out?
Well, we're trying to work out why St Andrews Beach has, never in the history of top 100 in the world golf courses has St Andrews Beach featured in the top 100.
Plus there's been some omissions.
Victoria is always in the top 100 and PK, as far as I'm concerned, is every bit Victoria, Kingston Heath, and should be both courses, and both of them should be in the top 100. Now, where you have them is up to you, but I'd have them all pretty close together because they're all of such quality. For those courses to be omitted and for St Andrews Beach to be elevated, well, everyone's scratching their head. No one knows what's going on.
How did your investigations go?
Well, see, I can be liable here.
I've had legal advice on this, by the way, from our lawyer. So,
what's his name again?
Dennis Denudo.
Dennis Denudo's our lawyer, isn't he?
He's great with the law, not good with photocopiers. So he said tread on safe ground.
All right. So look, there's a few glass. Let's just say there's a few glass jaws out there in golf architecture world. All righty, there's a few glass jaws, and I'll just leave it at that. But when I keep on asking people who should know who is on this panel that the top100golfcourses.com don't release, they will not tell you who is on. There is a trail that leads to one person now.
Really? Okay.
I'll just say it. I thought Mike Clayton might have been on this panel.
Okay.
He's not on the panel.
No? Okay.
That's the one person.
He'd be a good person to have on there because of his golf knowledge. So.
Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you? But, he had a lot to do with St Andrews Beach. He had something to do with the other two, Peninsula Kingswood and Victoria, but I'm not so sure those courses are credited OCCM anymore. I think both of them credit just OCM.
But to be clear, your understanding is he's not on that panel.
He's not on it.
Okay.
He's not on the list.
Right.
So we can't blame Mike for that. We can't blame it.
Nope.
But I don't know how I'm going to say this. There is somebody very close to Mike, and all roads point to this person being on the list. Now, I have made inquiries everywhere, and no one will tell me. But more and more people are suggesting that it's a prominent Victorian who is very good friends, who may well be a judge now that his duties for Victoria have slowed down a little bit.
Not a judge, but a judge on the course.
Prominent Victorian,
Right, okay.
great mates with Mike Clayton. So I'm not saying it's a dead end. This investigation is continuing by hook or by crook. Because why, Nick? Because top 100s are very important.
They are.
They are very, very important.
They're incredibly important for revenues at golf clubs.
Absolutely. And if you've got somebody on there who is sympathetic to a cause and shunning golf courses that needs to be called out in anyone's language. But let me continue on. This person may well not be on it, but my goodness, there are so many people thinking he must be on it because of what we've seen in the bottom half of this top 100 the course list.
Mark, I'm not going to ask you to name who the person is, but
you are the vault. So
if the person you've described is who I think it might be, I would imagine that you would know a number of people who would have said person's phone number and maybe could call said person.
Yeah. Well, he's not everybody's cup of tea, this particular bloke. So
okay.
I'm not calling him.
All right, okay.
To find out. I've got to find out in a different way.
Dennis has said we should maybe call it there. He's literally in the other room watching.
We're cutting it off.
That'll do. That'll do for the moment. I can't say any more. Hey, now you made it clear to me that there's a new golf show on Apple, which is called Stick.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I saw it the other day. Actually, I didn't see it. My wife Jay saw it and said, "You guys would love this. You should check it out."
I've seen the trailer. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
So who's the guy? What's
Owen Wilson is the main guy. He's the ex-pro.
He's the ex-pro.
Whose name escapes me right now. His nickname's Stick.
His nickname is Stick. No, the Price. His name is Price.
That's right.
Cahill. Price Cahill.
Price Cahill. And his card says the price is right.
The price is right. That's right.
Yes.
Anyway, apparently he had a meltdown on the golf course. It's now world famous in this series, a YouTube clip. They haven't shown the YouTube clip in 1 and 2. But look, if you like watching this, golf-related series, I got through the first 2 and I'll probably watch the third.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll give it a go.
And I'm just nervous. If it goes sideways, I don't know if you'll come back this time.
Is he your shot at redemption?
This is your mulligan? We might need to skip out on this. I want you to bring the RV around. I'm going to be walking up, maybe running. When you see me come... Actually, this might not be over. I'll call you back.
Hello, friends. Jim Nance with Trevor Immelman. What a tournament we have in store.
This game takes and it takes. The game's finally giving me something back. I'm used to it. People liking me just for golf, same as Dad. You are my friend, and that's got nothing to do with how well you swing a golf club. I care about you more. We're like Butch and Sundance, like Thelma and Louise, like Turner and Hooch.
You know all those characters die, right?
Hooch lives.
No, Hooch takes a bullet and bleeds out at the end.
Why? That's so unnecessary.
But the other news is that Happy Gilmore 2, and we saw some of the, we saw the trailer. I think most people have seen the trailer now.
Yep.
You don't have to go to the movies for this one, folks. It's just going to be on Netflix. And
Straight
the release
to
date
Netflix.
is, late next month,
July 26th. What gave it away? Was it the fact that it was a big Netflix logo on the trailer?
That's exactly what gave it away, man. Yeah, that's exactly what gave it away. So I didn't realise until later. I thought, hang on a second. This is a bit like, the Mike Tyson fight that was on Netflix. You don't actually have to pay for it if you're on Netflix.
Yeah. That's good.
You're away.
That'll be good to watch. I think it looks. I'm definitely going to watch it. Nick, you weren't quite so impressed.
I saw the trailer and kind of went, okay, yeah, this doesn't look great, but I'm probably going to watch it just because I'm a golf nuffy and I love.
We'll be giving reviews, mate.
Yes,
So
I will be watching it.
You are going to have to watch it.
Okay, I will.
You are going to have to watch it.
I'll
Now,
force my way through it.
have we got anything else to get through
Ooh, before the turn?
before the turn?
I think we go to the turn.
Yeah.
And I think I know the top 5 is a fun one today, so I'm looking forward to hearing that. So let's go to the turn. Have a party pie.
I've just got a little bit of Titleist news that I'll give you after the turn.
Okay.
A little bit. It's got a few people here because we do the podcast from Titleist FootJoy headquarters. And let's just say there's a couple really excited fitters I've just bumped into in the hallways around here.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, all right, I'll see you on the 10th tee.
We're live from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. We all know the number one ball in golf is Titleist and the number one shoe and glove in golf is FootJoy. We're here thanks to the Golf Clearance Outlet. They beat everyone's prices. Ping will always help you play your best. Turn your bogeys into birdies with the Watch My Numbers app. And Better, the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. That's better. Now, back to Talk Birdie To Me. Here's Nick and Mark.
Well, welcome to the 10th tee, and I'm going to get to my top 5 very soon. I had some Titleist news. I've weaved it in
Of course you
to
have.
this week's top 5. I've weaved it in. But the golfy stuff that we hear going around, have you got any more details, Dan, on what this is about, please?
Yeah. Golfies, it sounds like a lot of fun. So basically, Golfies is a 2-person Ambrose match play tournament. It's happening in a bunch of cap cities around the country. And there's like a 4-week window to get the tournaments in, which is good. Basically, if you win 8 matches, you could win an all expenses paid golf trip to Thailand worth 25 grand.
Wow.
Everything included.
And if you don't win, you blame your partner.
Well, you do blame your partner. But here's the other good thing too. If you go to the website, golfies.com.au, use the discount code BIRDIES and you get 40% off.
40% off?
40% off.
Nice.
Holy moly. Ambrose is always great fun. I've never seen Ambrose match play.
You want to partner up or what?
Is there any appearance money involved?
Party pie.
I think our handicaps might kill us.
No, it's not going to help us. It's not going to help us at all. Okay, time for this week's top 5.
Top 5.
The Talk Birdie To Me Top 5, thanks to Southern Golf Club.
Top 5.
Top 5 thanks to Southern Golf Club. Mark, your turn this week.
So, again, selfishly, the top 5 things that I am super excited about in golf at the moment.
Wow.
This could be good. Okay.
I
At
am.
the moment.
And how about this? My Temu snakeskin green watch, green belt did not make it. That's
I can't believe that. That knocked me
surprising.
over with a feather.
cost $6.50, that belt. Anyway, at number 5, I got my Fastback 1.5 and I am loving this thing.
What's the fastback 1.5 again?
That's my new Scotty Cameron.
Oh, that's Scotty Cameron.
That's my new Scotty Cameron. So it is that good. I can't get over it.
The chain link?
The chain link. It's got a little bit of toe hang. But it just, when you've just found something that is just right, I found something that is just right.
You know what might be even better?
What's
is
that?
if you finish the 18 holes to use it. That would be
Yeah.
good.
yes.
Rather than pulling out after 7.
So those 7 holes, I've never held more putts in my life. In the monthly medal on Saturday, it was just beautiful.
We need that no 18 logo.
And the black and white, it's just those lines really help you align it. So I'm very, very happy. At number 4, I've already spent my money. Seb Straka. I've just received a little bit of feedback from the US Open Direct. He's swinging it that well.
Okay.
He is striping it to the point where he's only going to play 9 holes and 9 holes. He's just going to
He's just going to ease his way
saving
into
himself for the Open. So I'm very happy.
Can I make a statement? I call
Please.
BS.
Why?
I don't think you've heard any feedback on that. I think you're making that up.
That's incorrect.
Who's it from?
It's from a poster.
It's from Grok.
Someone's posted it. Someone's posted it.
Who's the person?
I don't know.
Where'd
I
you
just
see it
saw his
posted?
swing
Where
on
was it
Twitter.
posted? On Twitter.
Just
you're
over
into it.
there.
I
I was
love
on Twitter.
Right, okay.
Swinging it beautifully.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, send us that tweet later so we can see it.
I will.
Okay.
Number 3. Yeah, you both think you're funny. At
gee.
number 3, the no 18-hole emoji.
Oh, gosh.
That's
That
what you're
is,
excited about.
just for fair weather golfers like me, and now that it is winter, just to be able to send that to your playing partners that I'm not turning up tomorrow. I've seen the forecast. That's just made my life a hell of a lot easier.
Okay.
At number 2, I can't wait for Oakmont this week.
Yeah,
I just
me
cannot.
too.
I cannot wait. I'm going to watch. I'm going to get up early, all the way through.
Yep.
And the live from, I enjoy that. I've just got a nice week where I can watch it all.
Are they doing it again this?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
are? Oh,
yeah.
good.
I've
Okay.
already-
I think
I've
they've got a different, because it's a different network that does the US
Oh,
Open.
is it?
So
I've already series linked it.
it's not
on
Nance
Foxtel.
and all those guys. It's other people, I believe.
Oh,
So-
no, I'm talking about,
No, I know.
Chambly and McGinley.
Yeah, no, I know that. Yeah. That's Golf Channel stuff, so that's fine.
Okay.
So, yep.
So who have we got?
I think it might be, is it Dan Hicks and Kevin Kisner? I think it might be the lead analyst.
Hey, this is the top 5 things that are exciting me, and you're just doing.
I just had to bring him back
What
down.
the hell are you doing?
No, it's going to be a great test of golf. So it'll be a torture test, but it's going to be so much fun. I'll be up early with you. Don't worry. We can text back and forth.
And at number 1, I just ran into, I told you this a second ago, a couple of the fitters here at Titleist FootJoy in the hallways. I just saw Simon Davies. I said, "What are you doing today?" And he said, "I'm unpacking the new fitting systems for the new T-Series irons."
Oh, okay.
And I don't know whether I've told you, but I'm going to be one of the first people fitted for the new T-Series irons.
Love it.
And I just cannot wait. There's nothing better. And you just got a new set of pigs, didn't
I
you?
just got a new set of blueprint
And
tees.
it takes a lot for you to get excited,
Oh.
Nick. And you were doing cartwheels last time I saw you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm excited for that as well. So if you've been thinking about the new T-Series, stay tuned. I've only heard good things. And one of the things that Simon told me was, I said, "How many of the players these irons went straight in the bag?" He said, "Almost all of them."
Wow.
And that's before a major.
That's big.
So that gives you some idea.
Yeah, you usually need a little bit of leeway time to get them, used to, get the nuances and everything.
I've been sworn to secrecy, but I'm going to blab anyway. I'll probably get in trouble.
Hang on.
Oh, here we
Sure you
go.
want to say this?
Well, they've found something that helps iron play that is not about the sweet spot. That's
Okay.
all I'll say.
All right.
And maybe not necessarily from the fairway.
Don't say anymore.
That's all I
Okay.
can say.
All right.
Otherwise, Dennis will have to
So
pay
that's
him
your number
overtime
one.
this week. That is my number 1.
I can't believe there was one other thing, because I never seen you so excited when you showed me a video of your golf swing the other day.
Oh,
You
yeah,
said,
I'm
"Have a
swinging
look
it
at
well."
this. I'm swinging it so well." How did that not make your top 5?
I'll send it to Dan. Dan, put it up.
Yeah.
Put it
Actually,
up. I'll put it up
you should,
quickly.
because I got to admit, Mark, this is the best I've seen you swing it.
I've never swung it. I've
and you
never
know what?
swung it like
There's
this.
so much room through impact of between your arms and your hips, which is impressive. You must be doing the 3-ball drill,
Well, I've been doing the backside drill a little
the
bit.
backside drill. Yeah.
That should just go round and around then. I've never swung it like this ever. There's a lot of reasons to get excited in golf, but gee, when you feel like you're
know.
swinging well,
All right, let's have a look.
and when you match it up to a new putter that hold everything in that 7 holes I played in the middle.
And some new irons coming.
Look
out.
You good to? Are you good to go on this, Mark?
Yeah,
let's have a
Nick
look.
can review it.
This is pure. Setup's great. Just need to slow it down a little, but no, that was
that
good.
was just
look at
the
the
video.
balance. Like at impact, it's just magic.
Mate,
So
look.
really good. Club's on a good line, just up and down, not even moving off plane.
I've never swung it that good.
Looks like a cold day. Obviously, you finished the 18 that day, so well done.
No, I didn't.
I was just hitting balls. Was that before the?
It was 10 minutes worth. It just started raining and I went home. All right, what are we doing next?
We are now doing the Pink Global results, and you know what? This jingle that I think you found, Nick, it's really grown on me. I think it's good.
Same here. I quite like it.
It's good.
It's not.
Hang on, what's wrong with this, Mark? It's very, very cool.
I was on a high.
Yeah.
I've been brought back to standard.
All right, the Ping Global results, because Ping will help you play your best, like they have for you, Nick.
They certainly have for many years. You know, I went out and played 9 holes at Long Island the other day. Now I haven't done much practice or anything
What's it
recently because they opened 2 new greens.
Oh.
The 9th, the par 3.
Yeah.
And also there's a double green, 10, 11, 12, and 12 has
He
a double
loves double
green
greens,
with
doesn't he?
another one, and they made it into a short par 3, that one, because it's going to be a par 5, but the rest of the fairway's not ready yet.
Yeah, okay.
But I went out and played 9 holes, and I hit shots like I was in my heyday, and I think it was just one of those magical, I'll get out for a quick 9 sort of thing. Carrying just a half set, about 8 clubs, and I flushed it. And isn't there nothing better than
Nothing.
I was calling shots. I'm like, I'm just going to hit a high draw 5-iron in here. It was it was just me, so no one else was out there, but I was almost as good as I think I am.
Wow,
So it was great. So,
well, there's nothing better. There's nothing better. You have
There
those
is nothing
moments.
better.
It's quite often you do it when you're playing by yourself.
that's right.
Yeah.
But the new holes that were opened, OCM have done them.
Yeah.
Looks magnificent. Can't wait for the rest of the course.
I've heard it could be the best redo of all the redos that OCM have done.
I think so. Well, Mount Lawley's up there. I know that. That's one of the best.
I know
I've
Huntingdale's
seen.
going to be
Huntingdale.
spectacular.
We need to go and have a look at Huntingdale too.
Again,
so-
well, we should go back. We should go back.
Yep. Okay. All right, let's get into it. The Ping Global results this week. We had the Canadian Open, obviously, at TPC. Where were they again? Toronto, wasn't it? TPC
something
Toronto.
like that.
Rory McIlroy missed the cut by a long way, 12 shots. So not his best, but more
Did it on
preparation
purpose.
time for Oakmont. Ryan Fox, 4th playoff hole, defeated Sam Burns, as we spoke of, but he said his shot on the 4th playoff hole was the best shot he's ever hit.
Oh, that one we showed before?
Best shot he's ever
Oh,
hit
I
in his
didn't know
career.
that.
So that's impressive. He's hit a lot of good golf shots. Remember we spoke to Marcus Wheelhouse about his swing too,
Yeah.
and it's just such a unique golf swing, so much power in there. It was really impressive.
And by the way, if you haven't had a listen to the Marcus Wheelhouse episode, just, if you're a subscriber, and you should all be subscribed by now on YouTube, go back and have a look at that, because Marcus talks about working with that action.
Yeah.
And a lot to do with that left foot. Have you seen his left foot, the way he turns it out?
Yeah, and he had a shoulder issue, and he doesn't really turn that much. Uses
That's
his
it.
arms a bit more. It's fascinating, and it's
Go on,
obviously
show it one
working
more
for
time,
him.
Let's
man.
have a look at it again, all right?
Show it
please.
one more time.
Watch this swing. Picks it up, drops it in, bang, high
if you
fade.
Ever wanted a 3-wood to land softly? Look at that flight.
So good, so good. And 2-putted for the victory. So nice
Almost-
check.
Almost 3-putted.
Your ball would never had a chance of reaching that
My
hole.
ball, I
It
would have been
stopped short.
left 2 inches short. I would have been trying to do
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, anyway. But Ryan was the only Australasian to make the cut, actually. It was fun. And he won the tournament, yeah. Aaron Badley, Harrison Endicott, and Carl Phillips all missed. So not a great week for everyone else. Liv Virginia was on. The Liv Golf Tour was back. Joaquin Neiman, another win, shot an 8-under 63 final round, bogey-free round 2 for
He's a
a
star.
one-shot win over Graham McDowell and Anrahan
Graham
Lahiri.
McDowell. How old's McDowell these days?
It's a good question. I think he's
I'll
early
find out.
40s, but that was McDowell's first podium finish in Liv. He hasn't played well since he went to Liv, so that was a good result for him. Lahiri took a 2-shot lead into the final round, and now he has his 6th runner-up. Hasn't won one of those, but
McDowell, the golfer.
he's on AI right here. This
You're
is
asking
great.
Siri, is it Siri or whatever it is?
No,
Will
Siri,
it tell
if
you?
you're using Siri, I'm using Grok.
Oh, you got Grok, haven't you? That's right. Anyway, you might have to pronounce McDowell. Who knows?
No, I got it.
No.
The
Okay,
golfer.
Thinking about it.
He's 45.
45. There you go. Okay.
Not
Not bad at all. So that was his 4th win, 6th overall on Live, and he becomes the most winningest player on Live with 6 wins. The Crushers got their 2nd straight win with a 2-shot victory over the 4 Aces, and in 3rd spot was Smash. Unfortunately, Rippers, they tied for last. Wasn't a great week for Rippers, but
At least the other team didn't finish last, who always finishes last.
they were going to,
what
but
happened?
they rallied. Majestics,
The Majestics.
shot on final day 18 under
To finish second last.
to finish 3rd last. Yeah. They were a long way back, but they lifted their
They've
game.
been good value, the Majestics. for
Yeah, they
us.
have. But
It's good fun watching
Mark
them.
Leishman played well. They tied for 10th.
He's flushing it, mate.
Cam Smith tied for 23rd, was the best, next best of the Aussies. There are 14 Live players in the US Open this week, so we'll see how they go,
14?
including our Mr. P in the pond at Augusta, Josel Ballester. He went to Live.
I didn't know.
So that
he
was
did.
his first tournament. He's playing for the Fireballs. So he
Right.
went to the Live Virginia was his first event. So it'll be good to see how he goes in the US Open. Obviously got the exemption through his amateur status, college days, I think.
I always thought once you turn pro, then if you had any amateur exemptions in the majors,
I would have thought so as well.
You foregoed them.
But apparently he's playing, so we shall see.
Okay.
On the LPGA Tour, they were in New Jersey for the ShopRite Classic where Ping's Jennifer Kupcho had a 1-shot win over Illy Lee, made a beautiful birdie putt on the final hole. That's actually what my masterclass is going to be on
I've
later.
seen your masterclass. It is a ripper.
It is a good one. Robin Choi, best of the Aussies, tied for 11th with Karis Davidson, also another Ping player, tied for 26th. They were the best of the Aussies. DP World Tour, they had the KLM Open in Amsterdam in the Netherlands. It was a bit of a 2-horse race with Scotland's Connor Syme, had a 2-shot win over Swede Joachim Lagergren. Tied for 26 was Daniel Hillier and Jason Scrivener of the Australasians. On the Ladies European Tour, they had the Tenerife Open where Sarah Kuskova went back-to-back, 2 wins in a row.
Wow.
1-shot win over German Helen Bream, and Helen's a superstar. Look out for her shortly.
Stacey Keating went back-to-back once on the
LET.
LAT, yep.
Yeah,
she
had a
did.
good career
It's
over there in Europe.
Well, it's something that you'll always be known for.
Exactly.
Back-to-back winner on the
Indeed.
Ladies European Tour.
The top 10 tied for 8th for Madison Hinson Tolshard, and tied 11th was Amelia Garby, the best there. On the Champions Tour, they had the American Family Insurance Championships.
Yep.
It was a team event. And it was
Did you
anything
see
but
who
the
won?
American family. It was Darren Clark and Thomas Bjorn.
Did you notice, I was laughing at these two. Do you know why I was laughing? Because collectively they have the 2 biggest guts in the history of Masters golf.
I wasn't going to go there, but you did.
Seniors golf. They have the biggest tummies ever.
yeah,
And they dress the same each day.
They lived the good life.
They live the good life.
They lived the good life.
And it was just so funny to see these guys
I know.
high-fiving and laughing. It's beautiful. It just shows you golf. You can be in any kind of shape and be a wonderful golfer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, your guy who you like and you just bet on, funnily enough, I think him and his caddy are I would say the heaviest pairing between player caddy on tour.
Yeah,
so
I agree. Yeah.
Anyway, and then you get the lighter versions as well. So it's quite funny. But they had a 4-shot win, Clark and
Four shots.
Bjorn over 4 pairs. Bernard Langer, Steve Olker were playing together. They finished in 6th. That's an unusual pairing.
Well, the
those
weight
two.
difference between the first and second is enormous.
Tied for 10th was Stuart Appleby and Michael Wright, as well as Cameron Percy and David Branson. So well done to those guys.
And Branston.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done, boys.
Tied 10th.
Wonder how much they won for a team event. Come on 10th.
I'm not sure, actually. I'd have to look into that one. Maybe you should ask Grock.
I'll
But
ask
anyway,
Grock.
okay.
I'll ask Grock.
I shouldn't have said that. On the Corn Ferry Tour, we had the BMW Charity Pro-Am in South Carolina. Now, I played this tournament back in the day when I was finishing up my time over there, and it was the first time I got to play with Tony Finau.
Oh.
And we teed off the first hole. I flushed my tee shot on the first, par 5, and he hit his 3-wood and carried me by 40 metres.
Are you joking?
And I thought, okay, yeah, I think I'm almost done. So Tony is seriously long, obviously, but the BMW event, it was always a fantastic one. Austin Smotherman had a 3-shot win over 3 players, and unfortunately, it's pretty sparse over there on the Corn Ferry Tour for the Aussies at the moment. There's only 2 players at the moment. It was Rain Gibson and Harry Hillier, who's in New Zealand, and they both missed the cut. So I don't know what's happening on the Corn Ferry Tour where all our Australasians have gone. So it's a bit disappointing in that regard.
Righto. Stick with me.
Go for it.
What was the, here we go, American Family Insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, we just need
You
a
got the
little bit more.
payouts.
So $3 million purse. So $450, $264 for the winners. Oh, no, it doesn't say.
Doesn't say tied 10th? Yeah.
No, it
I'd
doesn't
say
say
they're
tied 10th.
sharing, they're probably sharing about 80 or 90,000 US, something like that. So
Good
split
cash.
that
Well
in
done,
two.
boys.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
Well done, boys.
Anyway, that's this week's Ping Global results.
Okay.
Well done, Nicholas.
On that note, we might have a bit of feedback, which is, as you might expect, heavily focused on the top 100 list.
Oh, good.
Which we'll have a look at.
Maybe this could enlighten us a little.
Lots of feedback and lots of talk, as you'd imagine, about this top 100 world golf courses list that you have given a red hot rinsing to, Mark, and you joined in, Nick, as well.
It's up to us. There need to be gatekeepers of the top 100, and Nick and I, we've put our hands up to make sure it gets done properly.
There's at least three courses I know should be in there, and one that probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one from Kim. How they think Pera Pera Umu is better than TRI Links is beyond me. TRI is by far one of the best courses, north and south, that I've ever seen.
Well,
TRI is good.
and I
will
love
say
Pera
that.
Pera Umu. Absolutely love it.
You played well there too.
I always seem to play well there in my career, and I was lucky I was played there a lot. But I 100% agree. I 100% agree. So
Okay.
I don't know how that works.
Well, this one here from Ben. Hey, boys, I'm not even sure that this list warrants discussion. It has no credibility whatsoever. Surely insight into the makeup of the judging panel and the criteria is a minimum expectation for any list.
Yep.
And your fellow podcasters, the Australian Golf Passport, are saying that they want to do a ranking. Maybe you guys should collab with them.
Well, here's the thing. I was asked once 25 years ago, so I don't know who was running Golf Digest top 100 then, but I was asked to be a panelist on that, and I said, sure. I said, look, there's chances are I haven't played many of these courses. They said, just put it down.
What does it
you think.
entail, being on these panels?
Well, when I got into it, the nuts and bolts, they gave me a list of golf courses that should be ranked. And that's a good way of doing it. So there's about 200 courses there. And they asked me to rank them. You know, a few of the courses I hadn't played for 25 years, but I had played them.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was starting to feel a bit guilty. You know, I called the guy and I said, hey, listen, some of the courses that I have played, I haven't played them for 25 years. And he said, oh, don't worry about that. Just mark them how you remember them. Anyway, that didn't sit too well.
No.
I called them back the next day and I said, listen, I don't think I can do this, mate. That's if you're doing a top 100 based on what I saw 25 years ago.
Yeah, that's why it's
You
called an
can't do
annual
it.
list, because
So
it
I
changes from year to year.
That's right.
So-
I jumped off. I didn't want to do it. So you've got to have some people who have, one, the time, two, who really want to do it, and three, probably don't need to work, to do it properly.
Okay.
Yeah. PC Newman, that list is a travesty. Short and sweet.
Accurate.
We agree.
No mucking around there.
Accurate.
MF Drums has said Royal Adelaide is better than at least 30 courses on this list.
Yes. Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
I don't think you guys would agree. Comment here on Oakmont. This is from Laurie. Laurie said, "Hey guys, love the show. Oakmont US's Open course. The Oakmont US Open course was designed 100 years ago as a links course, but it's morphed into a mutant US version of links with unplayable rough off the fairways and around the greens. The two best courses in the world, Cypress and Pine Valley, have sandy waste along fairways and short grass around sloping greens.
Yep.
What do you think?"
Well, that is true, but a US Open, apart from last year at Pinehurst,
yeah.
that didn't have long rough. Look, I'm not sure the members play Oakmont how it's going to be set up this particular week.
No, apparently it's much tougher for them.
So, look, all courses can't be the same, and that's the thing. They've got to be outliers all over the place. I think Oakmont is an outlier. It's interesting, though, that the picture we've got in the background there does show it as an American links style looking golf course. It's a bit like having a links course in the middle of Cranbourne, which is just a suburban town. You can't have it because it's got
links means seaside.
That's right.
So,
that's right. Well, the way it is, it's links land is the land that connects the ocean to farmland. There's ocean, there's links land, and then there's farmland. And links land was deemed you couldn't farm on it, so they put golf courses on it.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from. So even though that kind of looks like a links course, it doesn't play like a links course.
No,
not even close. But when Ernie Els won here,
trees everywhere.
There were trees everywhere. And when you put what that looks like now compared to what it looked like in Ernie Els winning days.
94, yeah.
I want to play that version of Oakmont, the one we've got at the moment, than the one that Ernie won at, for sure.
Question from Chevy. How on earth, boys, does Oakmont make the top 10 on that list? It's got a freeway running through it, for goodness sake.
It does.
Yeah, well, Royal Adelaide's got a train line running through the middle of the golf course.
It does.
Yeah. It's a magnificent course. I totally agree with it being in the top 10. I think it's 8, from memory, but I think if you went hardest golf courses in the world, this is number 1.
Yeah.
This is number 1. That'd be an interesting list, the top 100 hardest courses.
And by the way, Royal Melbourne West, how many times do you cross the road on Royal Melbourne West?
Yeah.
Quite a few. And Royal Melbourne East,
Twice.
which didn't make the top 100.
You cross more roads there.
You cross even more roads. Yeah, so roads are just...
The East didn't make the top 100. No, it didn't.
No.
Did it? So St Andrews Beach is better than
St Andrews
Royal Melbourne
Beach
East.
is better than Royal Melbourne East.
Are you sure it didn't make the list, Royal Melbourne East? We'll have to look into that. So.
Mate, the investigation is continuing.
Well, there's another one.
I've hit a few dead ends, roadblocks, but I'll get there.
Okay.
According to the World Top 100 golfcourses.com Top 100 list, St Andrews Beach Golf Club is better than Royal Melbourne East, Victoria Golf Club, PK North and South, Royal Adelaide, and it goes on and on and on.
I assumed Royal Melbourne East was in that top 100.
There was a lot of Royals.
There was a lot of Royals. So my top 5 last week, I'd got to amend to a top 6 because
which one comes out?
No, top 6. I'm adding in East.
That's top 6
because
it has to.
I mean, that's
you're forgiven. You're forgiven.
Travesty is an understatement now.
Now, the last bit of feedback on this is from Dee. Now, Dee's been doing a bit of detective work. So Dee has said, hey guys, regarding the top 100 golf course list, it appears that they are a mob from the UK. On the People tab at the link below, there's directors listed, but none of the names ring a bell to me. Do you recognise these names? Now,
okay.
Let's have a quick look here.
Are they golf course designers just feeding their own egos?
Go to the people here on the link.
Yeah.
David Davis.
No.
Jarrett Miners.
No.
Joseph Owen.
No.
Daniel Baxter.
No.
Rochelle Baxter.
No.
Sally Baxter.
There's some Baxters.
God, the Baxters.
Wow.
Simon Bale.
No.
Daniel Baxter.
No.
Keith Baxter.
No.
Rachel Baxter. No, hang on. Rochelle Baxter.
Jeez. It's a family affair.
Simon Holt.
No.
Andrew Newmarch.
Nope.
Malcolm Searle.
No.
Right, there we go.
So we don't know any of the names who put this one together.
No.
Well, they own the company. They might have hired people to put them together. Either way, it's a shonky list. It's a shonky list.
It is a shonky list.
All right.
Sounds like a group of lawyers, Baxter, and Baxter.
Now, the other thing that happened last week, we had a bit of feedback from somebody who, it does actually, you're right, who said the Ryder Cup was outdated, and you guys vehemently disagreed and said it is a great spectacle.
That's right.
And pretty much so did the Wolfpack. And Angela summed it up really nicely, I thought. Angela said, after the last Ryder Cup, I reckon it's only just hitting its peak.
I think she's right.
Getting better.
It's only getting better.
Only getting better.
Yep.
Graham also, since it's wrap up on this one here, Graham also said, Carrie Webb's life story would make a really, really good documentary.
Yeah, it would.
That would be a good documentary.
Yeah. A good movie, actually.
Who else would
put her on the list of people she'd love to come on?
Oh,
Carrie?
yeah, we've got to put Carrie on that list.
Carrie on the hosting list.
Yes.
Yep.
That would be good. Carrie would be fantastic. Who else would be a good documentary subject, you think?
Oh, I'll tell you who. David Graham. He just got into the memorial as one of Jack's honorees.
That's right.
And the story that not many people know, David Graham won the USPGA, he won the US Open, a famous one at Merriam where I think he missed the first fairway by 6 inches and then hit every other green and every other fairway.
Yeah.
But what people don't know is that when David Graham turned professional, he was a left-handed golfer.
When he turned pro. I knew he was lefty as a
He turned
youngster.
pro as a left-hander.
Wow.
He got to Riversdale. Now, apologies because I've forgotten the name of the pro, but he's a famous one here in town. He hired him without seeing his swing.
Okay.
He just, obviously just the scores he's been shooting. He turned up and he was going to get his first lesson. He turned up as a left-hander. And the pro at Riversdale said, oh, God, I can't help you. I can't help a left-hander.
You got to switch.
So he switched.
Wow.
So he turned pro as a lefty, won majors as a righty.
Incredible.
Now, that's a doco and a half.
Wow.
And he was also one of the great club makers. So I think PGF was a famous brand here,
Yes.
and he was, right in charge there at PGF and other ones, and he ended up being the chief of staff at McGregor. I think he worked at Callaway.
I think he used to set the holes at Augusta?
He still sets the holes at Augusta.
He still does?
Yeah, still
Wow.
sets the holes at Augusta.
That's great.
He was just honoured by Jack Nicklaus as well. So he was a prickly character, David Graham, but a complete flusher.
Slow player, I
What
believe.
a story. I mean, that should be a 30 for 30 or, something special here in Australia. Amazing story.
Well, that's the feedback for this week, for this particular episode. We might call it a show there after the masterclass.
Yes.
But before we go to the masterclass, I just want to remind people to get on our Bet multi.
Yes.
$16, and it's Scotty Scheffler top 3.
Yes.
It's Ludwig to beat Rahm.
Yes.
And Straka to miss the cut.
And look at you. I can't. You're going to be so happy if he misses the cut, you two.
Go to the Bet app, download it, order the website. If you're not a member yet, it takes like 60, 90 seconds. Super easy. And only bet what you can afford to miss.
Well, make sure you hang around for Nick O'Hearn's masterclass. It is a beauty.
On the weekend, Jennifer Kupcho holed about an 8-foot putt on the final hole of the LPGA ShopRite Classic, and it was a beautiful stroke. Her rhythm was pristine, just back and through at the same pace, especially when it mattered the most. The tournament was on the line. Now, a great drill to get you having nice rhythm with your stroke, having that backswing and follow through at the same speed, is a metronome. What you do is you download one on your phone, and I'm going to set this to 75 beats per minute. And the goal here is to start my stroke on a beat and hit the putt on a beat. And what that's going to do is it's going to match my backswing and follow through beautifully. Just a nice rhythm to the stroke. I'd even recommend you do this on the practice green before you go out and play. Of all length putts, short putts, long putts, we still want that same pace, that same beat. And it's going to give you fantastic rhythm on the golf course. And good golf is all about good rhythm.
Beauty, watch my numbers would be very, very happy with that one, Nicholas. There's no doubt about that. Now, how often did you actually get the metronome out?
Yeah, quite often. And it took me a little while to find the right tempo,
number?
the right number. Yeah. So mine's 75, right in the middle. Most tour players are between 70 to 80, but I have seen people up at 90 and as slow as 60. So it's a matter of what suits you. But the rhythm to your stroke you get from it is magical. It's really good.
I reckon it'd be great if you were going from slow greens to fast greens because I know myself, mentally, I would always slow my stroke down
On
the faster the greens got. So if you're, for instance, if you're a Queenslander and you had a trip planned to come down and play Victorian faster greens, you get that 75 number might go to 85 just to get used to it, especially on the short putts.
Come down a little.
Yeah.
Go the opposite way.
The opposite way.
Well, you'd be at 80 maybe up at in Queensland, and you might be down at, say, 70 in Melbourne.
See, I haven't used the metronome.
You haven't used it
I haven't
much,
used
have
the
you?
metronome like you use the metronome.
Well, you're using your Scotty camera to good effect, so you don't need to.
Righto. Well, I look forward to either one or two things is going to happen. Either our multi is going to get up, and it's going to be great fun talking about it next week, or I'm going to have $6,500 because Seb Straka has just won the US Open. Catch you next week, folks.
And that's been Talk Birdie To Me, Australia's most popular golf podcast with Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen, coming from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. As everyone knows, Titleist is the #1 ball in golf and FootJoy the #1 shoe and glove in golf. Wherever you get your podcasts, make sure to subscribe, maybe leave a review, and we'd love you to share the pod with a friend who loves their golf. Huge thanks to our fantastic partners. Ping, like they do for Nick O'Hearn, will help you play your best. You can see your local golf shop or professional for a Ping club fitting. The Golf Clearance Outlet always beat everyone's prices. Visit golfclearanceoutlet.com.au for your nearest store. Watch My Numbers is the most powerful data-based golf app in the world. You can download from the App Store or Google Play. And better, they've got the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. Download from the App Stores today. Now that's better. Keep in mind, what are you really gambling with? But for now, from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, thanks for being a part of the show. We'll see you next time.